Hello everybody, Joe here, and today we are going to be discussing my favorite game, or at least one of them, Squad, and its vehicle tier list that I have right here. A lot of these vehicles do not, however, contain their counter names. I have no names, so I must go off what I see. I'm pretty familiar with Squad, so I can take my best guesses as what these are. So let's get started. First, we have the Chinese Marine main battle tank. Honestly, it's a B tier. It's not too bad if you're looking at it in the sense that it can go all terrain in the water and it has a very, very healthy gun. With its coaxial gun as well, it's a very healthy troop transport and mobility weapon. It can be used in mobile and amphibious landings. However, this is where its drawback comes in. It's very thinly armored. About 2 javelins will take you out compared to your contemporaries. And as the Marines, as China, you are not having the greatest time with this thing. So it's going into B tier. Has a good all-around use, but it's not the best. This appears to be the Russian engineer vehicle. Gonna put this in D tier. It's very helpful in the sense that it is amphibious and thus can be used to transport supplies in an amphibious. Wait a minute. I just saw the engineer vehicle right here. What the fuck is this thing? Definitely not a striker. D tier. You know what? Let's make it at a row above. Move it down. And it shall be called Unrecognized. This is a Challenger 2. A tier. The Challenger 2 matches point for point with its 3 contemporaries. It matches point for point with the M1A1 and the Leopard 2s. Now, the point where it loses a bit is against the T series, the T70s and the T90s. Just quickly re-looking over this. Yeah, no, there's no T90, so we don't have to worry about that thing cropping up. But the T72 has a very good advantage where, unlike all the other main battle tanks, it has a lower silhouette profile compared to its contemporary tanks. In that regard, it's very useful and helpful, as it very much aids it. The Challenger, on the other hand, lacks this, but makes up for it with ERA plating, like the other tanks. So while it's not going to be the best tank, it's still a good tank. Next up is the LAV 2. B tier. It's an amphibious landing vehicle that can be used in both an amphibious and or all-terrain aspect. With its 25mm Bushmaster, it's a very effective gun at what it does, which is basically punching holes through infantry or light vehicles that you come across. It comes with smoke launchers, so you can cover yourself and escape, or cover infantry exiting out of your vehicle. It's a very helpful tool to have in an amphibious landing, but it's very easily taken out due to its infantry status, IFV status. Next up, we have the Technical Armored Disc, otherwise known as the I couldn't get the SPG-9 in time, so I'm stuck with this thing. D tier. It has speed and maneuverability, as well as it being in a compact form, but it lacks in the same regard. It doesn't have the ability to take out armor, and is only good against infantry. But infantry can counter this very easily, as the gunner position on the Technical Armored is unprotected. Very easy to take out the gunner in those things. The driver, not so much. You have to hit through the slits. But the gunner is very vulnerable. SPG-9. This is going into S tier. The SPG-9 on its own as a emplacement is a very great asset to use and have. You slap that on a mobile truck bed and you're basically laughing because this thing can run circles around enemy armor and you can punch holes through them without any sweat. Now, Why am I placing it so high is because, unlike its technicals, its brothers, that thing is armored, meaning it can tank small arms fire much better than the other technicals can. The BTRs. Yet again, C tier. It has a bigger gun, so unlike the other ones, it actually leans itself into a better role compared to the other ones. Whereas the other ones, it's either you're rocking a small machine gun or you're rocking something that sucks. Either way, the BTR is very useful at what it does, and what it does well is moving infantry from A to B. Chinese Marines yet again. This is a very helpful vehicle, much like the main tank, only this one only has the smaller gun. It doesn't stop it though from keeping itself up there. It falls into the same category as the other tank, as the main battle tank for the Marines, only difference is the smaller gun keeps it down the list, and it has much slower turning and moving. So its speed leaves much to be desired. The Ural. Ural, my mobile artillery friend. The ability just to lay rockets down in a barrage is just over encumbering, and I've never seen this thing in game before, but if it was there, good heavens. Having the ability to have a mobile rocket platform is an insane idea, and would basically just rethink everything about this game, because without mobile artillery units, it's kind of fun because you can actually track down and or counter battery an enemy, whereas with a Ural Grad system, you'd basically be playing catch up as they can fire and move. This appears to be another BTR, this time with its bigger gun. Same issues as the other BTR. It's slow in the water, it's thin armor, only now it has a bigger gun and a AT missile to compensate for these facts. Is it any better? No. You go here too. I see that Russian AT missile. The BTR-80. I'm putting it up at A tier because it has a very great usability. Its job at clearing out infantry just makes it a death machine. Same with the 82. These two basically just wipe infantry without a second thought. The Coyote goes right up here. The Coyote is basically a Lav 2. Not much difference. Looks to be the Russians. No, that's a Chinese main battle tank. Meh. That appears to be the British's striker, but I can't recognize that. This appears to be the BTR body with a ZSU-57 AA gun. I have seen this in game before, I think. But basically, this thing, its main job is to basically just shred infantry like it's paper. Don't worry. You come across this thing, it's actually very easy to outflank the gunner and just snipe him out. Chinese MRAP. Guess where it goes? D tier. And that gun up there is not helpful. In fact, I think that's the Russian one, so still stays here. Actually, you know what? No. That's being too mean to all MRAPs by comparing it to the other ones. So it goes there. That can't recognize because it's not an in-game screenshot. FV-107 CVRT. This is the British equivalent to a Bradley. If I recall, it actually has no missiles and only has I don't remember the gun. I just know it's in either 20 or 30 mil. Basically, it's not that good. It can do its job and has a smaller profile, but in the same credence, I mean, it's better than the Coyote, I guess. Which, I mean, if you look at it, why does the Coyote only have 300 ammo listed here? I don't know, and I don't want to know. Alright, next vehicle! FV432, Riz. It's an engineering vehicle. Much like the Striker, it has the big gun. It's okay. CTAS has rockets. Much better. I like how it's classed as a battle tank, by the way. When it's not a battle tank, that thing sucks. But the only difference is, unlike this thing, where it's been slimmed down to compensate for the fact that there's no carrying of any infantry, this baby's got infantry capacity, meaning you can carry people into battle. Unlike this fucking thing. Fucking thing sucks! Now you might say, Joe, this carries way more. Wouldn't that mean it beats most of these? No. The gun. The gun on that thing is a 50 cal. It's basically a Striker. It sucks. Alright. And here you go, and here you go. Actually, this is technically not a Canadian Lav 3. So all Canadian Lav 3s have been outfitted with a 25mm Bushmaster. They are not equipped with the .50 M2 Browning Medusa. This is due to a refitting program that happened in the 80s and 90s, as I can recall. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going off what I remember here. But basically, the Lav 3 here is actually an American Lav 3 repainted in Canadian colors. This is a Canadian Lav 3. The Coyote is kind of like the between the Lav 3 and the Lav 2. It's kind of that middle ground. Not too bad, not too good. The Lav 2A6M. The Leopard 2A6M. Goes right here. The main difference between this and the Challenger 2 is actually the longer gun and the bigger profile on the turret. That turret has a much bigger profile compared to a Challenger 2. The Challenger 2 actually cuts off somewhat, whereas the Leopard covers the front. There's a good and a bad side with this. The good side is if you're positioning it right, you can have your turret take a hit and maybe reduce some of the damage that would have gone to the whole tank. But rockets usually hit the whole tank anyway, so it really doesn't help anything because there's no positional damage. Ha ha ha. Next vehicle, the British MRAPs. The LPPV and the LPVV RWS. RWS just simply means Crow's system. The Crow's system is basically a system where instead of having a guy on the outside of the tank shooting people, you're on the inside of the tank controlling a gun on the outside. Pretty simple, right? And here's the thing I was looking at and was dreading talking about, because these are the most atrocious fucking things I've seen yet, and I actually have not seen one in use in my entire time I was doing things. M113A3s, C6 and Browning. Now you might be asking, hey Joe, what's the difference between the C6 and the Browning? Well, the C6 is, it's an LMG. Basically, the Browning, is what you want, actually. The Browning's what you want. Better crowd suppression and better overall, in terms of speed and everything. It's the same as the other one, only it has a bigger gun. That's all that needs to be said about that. The only reason why I'm placing it so low is because, A, it sucks. Its driving capabilities, for some reason, are so ass that it's like driving a tank if that tank's treads were coated in the thickest layers of butter. What the shit? Anyway, M1151 M2. I don't know why this set doesn't have a crew member listed, probably because you don't need crew, but actually, yeah, no, these things are also fall under this, but the reason why I place this higher is because, unlike these two, this has better driving. These two suck. Alright, next up, M1A1. that is not a Tusk variant, so M1A1 righty up here. Actually, place it right about here. It's sort of an in-between. Honestly, these two are interchangeable. The M1A1 and the Challenger 2 are very interchangeable in the sense that you can kind of just swap them around. And, you know, you don't have any issues. Actually, there's an M1A2 Tusk variant right there. Anyway, and next up is the... Oh. It's the Russian engineer vehicles. 1 second. Alright. I'm gonna get flack for this, because people say, but I've used these before, Joe, and they're very good at their job. They support my team whenever we do a river crossing, have the capability of turning water. Shit! It ain't that good. It's terrible at its job. Its speed in water is so abysmal that you go in water and you've basically just said, hello world, I'm ready to die now, please. Please, hit me with your javelins, your ATGMs, whatever you have, hit me with it, because I'm going 5 nautical miles with this baby, and I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. It sucks, it's bad, it knows it's bad. Next vehicle! Oh, cool. It's the MRAP for the not cool kids. So I'm placing it here because it has no gunner's protection. This has something. This has something. These two at least have a front shield, right? This handles better than all of this. But here's the problem. Where'd the gunner sit? Oh yeah, he's sitting right here. Right in sniping zone. The big sniper pocket. Alright, next vehicle. The BTR-2. Or BMP-2, I can't remember. The Russians have a very bad naming convention system. We'll put it right about... right here. It's okay. It has 4 tires, so it's very easy to tire this thing with a single shot, or completely and utterly knock it out of combat. Its main advantage is speed. You have the speed with this thing. Use the speed. If you do not use the speed, you will die. T-62. Meh. The reason why I say the T-62 is worse than the Leopard, because yes, it has a lower profile, but the problem, in my honest opinion, for some reason, it sticks out more. Yes, it has a lower profile, but it just seems more noticeable. It's that frying pan shape. The Russian tanks all share the frying pan shape. However, the T-70s actually address this problem and actually have it lower to the ground, so it's actually a little less recognizable. But the dome turret actually gives this thing away more times than not. At least with these, sure, you're going to see them, but they're going to see you back. This thing, Jesus Christ, it's terrible at times. The dome shape really gives it away, too. So if you see a T-62 and a T-72, go for the T-72 first. Yes, the T-62 can do some damage, but it's the lesser of the two evils, so pick your battles. T-72, another, actually, I was going to say an S tier, but honestly, these 4 are all kind of interchangeable with each other. This has better profile. This is better average things. It's an average man's Vic. This is a bit more closed and comfortable to fight in. It's a smaller tank. The tanks this thing is on are actually not that great. Sure, it's on different maps, but the maps the Challenger 2 is on just do not lend it to a good fight. T-72S, I would feel mean if I didn't give you the same spot as your brother. Alright, let's move on to the fun vehicles. The TAP-V M2A1 Crows, which is just the M2 Browning mounted on with a crow's nest system on a TAP-V. Fun fact, the TAP-V is terrible. Don't ask me why I know this, it's just terrible. it gets to sit up here with the rest of the suck platoon. Actually, it can sit right here. It's better armored than this. But yeah, look at that crew. Look at that passenger capability. 6, 10, 10. I think like 8 or 10. 4. 6. This thing leaves a lot to be desired. Yes, it's a recon Vic, but dear God, is it terrible at its job. Now time for more technicals. Honey, it's time for your 4 o'clock technicals. Honestly, the technical dish is actually worse than even the armored one, because at least the armored one, there's some armored plating stopping bullets from killing your driver. This has nothing. You are open to the elements. God as my witness, you will die. The UB-22 is so much better than the SPG-9 tactical armored. See, the UB-32 is an artillery platform. That means it just looks, aims, fires at an objective, and it wins. Very good Vic. Very solid choice, I would say. Technical SPG-9, just like its their cousin, the technical armored, but this is much faster and is more capable of doing its job than the armored one. The armored one, yes, it can withstand some bullets, but really, if you're in one of these things, you're going tank hunting or logi hunting, so really, you shouldn't even need the armor unless you're being engaged a lot. So, you know, these two are great. This one's pretty good. Tiger M Cord. And here it... Come on. There you go. It's better than its LRPV variant because it holds more people. But the one thing holding it back from that true... Actually, I'm going to move you back down here. You're getting the fuckbox treatment. Is this. The RWS system. This thing right here makes this go from a little assy to, oh dear God, here comes the boy. The T-Lav. It's better. That's all I can say about the T-Lav, really. The T-Lav is basically a response to, what if we make this thing have a bigger gun? However, it has the same problems as the other two. The armor is terrible, and its handling is terrible. Like, this thing handles worse than anything on this list. Like, these three are the worst handlers, and the only reason it even makes it in the C tier alone is because it has the gun. That's the only thing keeping it there. Otherwise, I'd put it down here. But it's playing double duty, so it gets to stay. Another Russian BTR. Where does it go? Well, where'd you guess? Right there. Yep. The Striker. Actually, not the Striker. The M1126. It's a amphibious personnel carrier. It's okay at its job. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. I would honestly say if you're running this, get in, get out with the infantry. Do not stick around. Give them cover fire when you can, but do not stick around. You are not designed to take punishment. You are designed to get in, drop the men off, and get the hell out and pick up either supplies or other things. You are not supposed to fight vehicles. You're not supposed to fight infantry constantly. You provide the cover, and then you bug out as fucking quick as you can, because I guarantee you there's a couple rocket launchers probably pointed at you. The M2A3 Bradley. Oh boy. This right here is what I like. This here gives me immense joy. Not only does it have the 25mm Bushmaster we've talked about prior with the Labs, but it also sports the best weapons in the game, the TOW missile system. The tow missile completely changes how this thing plays from you support the infantry to you support the infantry and knock out any tank that dares cross your path. The M2A3 can tank at least a shot. It's very much one of those, you gotta kill it first, otherwise it could get a tow missile or two off and kill your tank. Or, if this thing's tank hunting, sure it's got a bigger profile, but you're gonna be feeling the hurt when whenever these missiles connect and kill you. Challenger 2, yet again. What a familiar sight. The FV432. What do you know? It's a striker. It's a striker. Actually, you know what? No, this is worse even than the striker. Because guess what? It needs a gunner. This one, you do not need the gunner. However, it is manned by a crewman. This doesn't need the crewman. However, it is a manned gun, which automatically drops it in my books. This is because anything with a manned gun is automatically not as great as people like to hype it up. Sure, you don't need the crewman to drive the dang thing, but the problem is you automatically are losing that advantage when you can get your guy sniped in the head when he's up here. Whereas in this one, everybody's inside the body, nobody has to die. Now, that's either an S or a 510. Give it up for the B tier. Just kidding. It's going up here. It's passing it. The reason why I give the Coyote a better credit is because, as I recall, it's a better hunting vehicle. And it's amphibious. So, it's got that going for it. Same with the Lav. Next up, the M1A2. Where does it go? Right in front of the M1A1. Not many differences other than the Crow automatic defense turret on the top there that the commander can use to literally kill people that he deems unfit for this world. Unlike the M1A1, which lacks this feature. Still a good tank, but M1A2 just is an upgrade. Straight. Which is weird to me because, yes, it's a different faction. It's the Aussies using the M1A1. But you'd think they'd give them the M1A2 to keep things even, so that way whenever the Aussies are playing against the Americans, it's not just a straight, oh boy, infantry are near me, I'm going to go pray now. This thing, at least when infantry start getting close, the commander could start doing his job and start picking some off for you. This, infantry get close, it's a suicide fest. You're not getting out alive when infantry getting close on you with this one. This one you have a chance. This, actually, that's a good point, Brain. Thanks, Brain. This is actually the worst of all these. All these have some form of roof protection. Hell, even I think all of them do. All of these are better than the M1A1 now that I think about it, because all of these have some form of roof turret system that will allow you to have the commander engage infantry. This has nothing. This is literally just death. At least, that explains the 3 crew capacity needed. But here's my... Wait, that can hold 5 people. I've never seen the T-62 hold players, so this is actually news to me. But since I've never seen it hold players, I'm just going to write that off as infantry sandbags. Anyway, Chinese marine vehicle. It goes right here. What do you want? What do you expect? It's Chinese. The marine vehicles are kind of earth. Actually, I'll keep it up here because it has wheels instead of treads. So you have more chances to just, lose a tire instead of a whole tread. Anyway, this has been my 30-minute rant on vehicles and squad that I can remember or at least know some lore about that I wanted to share. All in all, don't take this tier list too seriously. I just make these for shits and giggles at like 11 p.m. and shit. Otherwise, you all have a good day and a good tomorrow. Also, I upgraded the microphone, so I hope you all enjoy that part. And I hope y'all have a good day and a good tomorrow. Otherwise,